So the Austrian Grand Prix was the latest embarrassment for Williams this year. Albon finished 17th and was lapped twice, and Sainz didn't even finish because his engine blew up or his turbo failed or whatever. I just wanted to talk today about how humiliating Williams have been this year and how I think James Vowles has not been called out enough for this. So the last few years, James Vowles has been saying that they're focusing on 2026. Forget about 23, 24, 25, all focus on 2026.
With this, I don't care about 23, I don't care about 24, and I really don't care about 25. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But that's not what's of interest to me. I'm interested in 25 is a bit of a borderline one, but 23 and 24, I don't care about. We can finish last. Break everything. This is an opportunity you'll never have in your lifetime.
And they rock up this season with an overweight car, a car that doesn't even have any speed by the looks of it, and it's just dead slow. They got some points on the board out of sheer luck, basically. The Austrian Grand Prix just showed how far off they are. On the shortest circuit on the calendar, they were like a second and a half off the leaders in Q1. This season, the average qualifying position between Sainz and Albon is 13th and 14th, and the average race finish is 14th and 15th between them, and they're about 1.2 seconds off the pace of the leaders on average. On some tracks like Austria, somehow that's even more on the shortest track. And I just wanted to talk about that this is just a complete humiliation for Williams. I'm not sure why James Vowles is getting a pass for this, because if this had been like Ferrari, where they've sacrificed years on a project to be at the front and they completely failed, they would have been absolutely crucified for this. Yet somehow Williams seems to be getting a pass. And it looks like Carlos Sainz is probably going to be angling to leave because he's basically just saying the car's absolutely crap, wants to get out of there. But one of my main questions is just what on earth were they doing all winter and even before that, because they basically sacrificed last year to focus on this car. They were late to the pre-season test because the car wasn't ready, and they've come with like 30 kilograms, maybe even more, of just overweightness. So my question is, what on earth was going on, and how has this car been allowed to be such a disaster if they've been focused on it for so long? Because extra weight is what happens when you start failing crash tests because you aren't prepared enough, or you've things in your tools haven't picked up things that are going to go wrong. And it makes you question if Williams' tools are still just behind every other team on the grid, because I mean, when Vowles turned up, they were still using XL, and that's obviously just been baked into their culture for however many years, and it's probably some people probably just like to do things the old-fashioned way, and that's obviously changed the culture for things like that. So it does make you wonder if people have gone back to their old ways and this resulted in this absolute disaster of a car. I just don't understand how it was allowed to get to this point. And there was no alarm bells before January, basically. I think there was maybe a few rumours in late December that things weren't going so well, but I think everything was kind of on course before that, which makes me wonder if there was some fundamental issue they found out about late, which forced them to add a load of weight to the car. Maybe something wrong with like the rigidness of the chassis or something. It is not normal for a car to be this overweight when they've spent this long on it. So it makes me quite confused. And again about the weight, this is another overweight car. The start of 2024, the car was also overweight, and they had to spend a lot of development budget trying to get that weight down. So it is something fundamental in their processes, which is allowing these cars to come out overweight. And that is on Vowles. He should have changed that by now. It should not be an issue anymore. They should not be making these really overweight cars to start. I know Red Bull are overweight, but they've already shed it. They've already shed the weight, okay? And they're actually looking pretty good now as of Austria. So I don't think that's an excuse. I don't think Mercedes have any weight. I don't think Ferrari have weight. And I'm comparing Williams to the top teams because that's where they want to be. That's where they want to be. So there is no excuse for this underperformance from them. And now as I said earlier, they're probably wondering if they're going to even be able to retain the services of Sainz, because Hülkenberg's probably going to end up retiring soon, because, I mean, Audi aren't just doing nothing. McLaren might be getting rid of Piastri because Verstappen might be going there. So there might be a seat open at Red Bull, kind of Sainz versus Piastri for the Red Bull seat. Personally, I'm taking Sainz. So there's plenty of opportunities for him to leave and go to another team. So it's down to Williams to somehow convince him that, they're going to be able to turn the situation around. And they have a chance to, okay? It's not all gone for them yet, because they have this B-spec coming at Baku, which apparently is going to shed all the weight and make the car what it should have been. So a lot is riding now on this update, and I don't know if they're going to be able to deliver it all, because while they're so busy trying to shed excessive weight off the car, all the other teams are bringing performance. I mean, they're lucky that Haas has hit the bed, because otherwise they would probably be loads of points behind them, because obviously right now they got 11 points. I'm pretty sure Haas have a fair amount more. I'll put the standings on the screen, but they're a long way from being able to fight with anyone ahead. I think Audi should have a lot more points. I don't really rate their drivers. I think their drivers haven't got the most out of the Audi car, so it should be a lot worse than it is. So I got no clue if this B-spec's actually going to be able to fix anything. And it also brings up the question, is James Vowles safe? Is he safe if this B-spec doesn't work? Is he safe even if it does work, just for the absolute disaster? Because they've spent so long trying to focus on fixing this car, they probably had to sacrifice a bit of next year now. So it does make you wondering if his job is kind of in danger at the moment. I don't know who would replace him, to be honest. I don't know what would happen there, if it would be someone from within the team, but it is not looking good for him at the moment after sacrificing the last few years. I think the saving grace for him is that they had a good season last year. They had a few podiums or whatever, so that brought him time. If they didn't have that good season last year, I think that's when there would be a lot more rumours around his future, but there isn't. So I think last year kind of saved him. There's only going to be so long you can ride on that glory from last year, and if they can't turn the situation around at Baku, I think he's not going to have long left. So yeah, that's my take.